Okay, so let me take you through the agenda of today's session. This is going to be an hour-long session, and throughout this session, we are going to focus on Salesforce development, the basic concepts, including Salesforce, the backend programming language, which is Apex, Lightning Web Component Framework, the front-end technology, and the integration framework. These three topics are very essential for Salesforce developers. But before we reach there to that point where we will talk about what Salesforce development exactly means, I will first take you through what Salesforce exactly is, right? And we will talk about what is there in the platform, what are the job opportunities. And at the end of this session, I'm going to take a few questions from you, right? Now, the first thing is the speaker's introduction. Just give me 1 second. There is some pop-up coming up on the screen. Just give me a second to get rid of it. Okay. So, as you all know, my name is Suman Ganguly. I am from Kolkata and I have over 10 years of IT experience. My total work experience is 14 plus, right? And I have worked with major IT firms in India, including Infosys, Cognizant, Wipro, Persistent Systems, right? Uh, for my skills, I'm a skilled Salesforce CRM developer, consultant, and trainer. Apart from that, I have good understanding and hands-on experience with web development, including HTML, CSS, and JavaScript framework. I have good understanding of Java, the programming language, DevOps, which is used for managing projects and deploying your development changes from one environment to another environment, right? System integration, how we can connect different systems and exchange data between them, right? And there are a few more, but we'll talk about it some other time. You can reach out to me for corporate trainings if you want career consultation, and if you need any suggestions, any trainings on Salesforce CRM, right? So you are all here in this webinar, and this webinar basically talks about Salesforce. So I am hoping that you might naturally be asking yourself this question, that what exactly Salesforce is and how this thing can be useful in my career or in my life, right? So Salesforce, before I take you through what Salesforce is, who founded it, right? And what are the other platform related things? Let me answer this most important question, like why should anyone learn Salesforce in 2025, right? So the reason number one, I have been working on Salesforce platform for more than 10 years now. Since 2014, I have been dedicatedly working in this IT industry, and the Salesforce CRM has been my area of expertise. I have seen huge demand for Salesforce professionals in the job market, right? And let me make it very clear, not only for technical people who are from technical background, there are a lot of scope, there are a lot of opportunities for non-technical professionals as well. Students, anyone who is working currently, right? So there is a high demand for Salesforce CRM professional in the job market. That is one of the major reason why you should invest your time and money learning about Salesforce CRM in 2025. Career opportunities. Every Indian IT company, be it Infosys or Wipro, Cognizant, XYZ, any other company who is working in the tech space, has opportunities or has openings for Salesforce professionals. Be it a Salesforce system administration profile, be it a business analyst, a quality analyst, a Salesforce developer, consultant. These roles are in huge demand, right? And the salary package is very competitive in the market. One of the highest paying jobs, you can easily search LinkedIn or Google, you will see that huge career opportunities are available in Salesforce ecosystem. Innovation and growth. Now, Salesforce has its headquarter here in India in Hyderabad. Apart from that, they are hugely invested in India's economy. You might be familiar or you might have heard this that the great cricketer Rahul Dravid, people like Sadhguru, they are the brand ambassador of Salesforce here in India. Salesforce has invested billions of dollars in Indian job market to create the opportunity, to create the infrastructure and all these things. You can easily Google these things and find out more about Salesforce CRM, how Salesforce has been a pioneer in the job market, not only from the IT perspective, but they are also in sales, they are also in service industry, automation industry, healthcare, everywhere you will see jobs related to Salesforce CRM. So as I was saying, Salesforce CRM is used across various industries, including retail, healthcare, finance, and more. This versatility mean you can apply for skills in different sector and companies and you are not restricted only to IT companies, though the most of the Salesforce CRM jobs are available in the IT job market. However, this is getting expanding into other sectors and industries as well. For example, healthcare, education, right? Sales, service, automation, all these industries are accepting or working on Salesforce CRM to provide their customer better services. Services, product availability, all these things are part of, all these things are part of it. Future-proof skills. Now, why I'm saying it's a future-proof skills? See, we often hear these things like what will happen to this technology after 10 years, whether this will exist or not. In Salesforce, whatever things you learn, whether it's coding, whether it's the skill of business analysis, whether it's testing, any other skill, this skill can be easily transitioned into similar skills in future, right? For example, if you learn the Apex programming language, which is the um, backend framework or backend um, tool for writing codes, right? So this Apex programming language is very similar to Java, right? So in future, if you want to go into mobile development, you can pick Java as well, right? Similarly, Salesforce is the front-end technology, right? The Lightning Web Component framework. This framework is based on modern web standards like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So whatever you will be learning in the Salesforce platform, this will definitely help you today, tomorrow, and in foreseeable, future. I am hoping that you will be having questions in your mind and I will be interacting you towards the end of this session, right? So please write down your questions if you are having right now, and I will request you to get in touch with me once the session is over. We will have a dedicated 15-minute window for Q&A. 10 minutes, around 10 minute session on Q&A. So a little bit of history about Salesforce, right? It was the founder is Mark Benioff and Parker Harris. This company was founded in 1999, right? Both these both these person are pioneer in the field of information technology, right? They have a long history of serving um, information technology with innovative ideas, and Salesforce CRM is, it's just the cherry on the top, right? Since its inception, it's like 30 years, right? From 2000, almost 2000 to 2025, Salesforce has done exceedingly well as a company for its stakeholders, for employees, and also for the society. I would highly encourage you guys to do a little bit of research on Salesforce if you are not familiar with Salesforce CRM. So primarily, Salesforce CRM is a cloud-based solution provider, right? You can say they have ready-made apps or applications for sales, service, marketing, healthcare, and a lot of other um, industries where company can simply subscribe to this platform and they can start using the services and the applications from day one. Okay. Salesforce has customers around the globe. Salesforce has been nominated a lot many times, being the best workplace, being the number one CRM in the market. I think for last 10 years, and so 100 best companies by Fortune and most admired companies by Fortune, right? These are few awards, and these are just a few awards in a very long list of awards for Salesforce CRM. Another reason why you should learn Salesforce development in 2025, we have already seen like why should you learn Salesforce CRM, right? Salesforce CRM has many career paths available: uh, business analysis, consultation, development, architect, quality analyst. There are many career paths available, as I said earlier, for technical and non-technical people. But why I'm emphasizing on learning Salesforce development in 2025, the number one reason is because there is a huge demand for Salesforce developers in the job market, right? There is a lot of opportunities, and it is one of the most, if I would say, uh, biggest job openings in any tech company is related to Salesforce development, right? It's a highly sought after skill, right? And most of the major companies, whether it's a tech company, non-tech company, they're all looking for Salesforce professionals. Salesforce development is a very high paying career, right? Once you gain a couple of years of experience, you can expect, and what I have seen, I'm quoting this from my experience, last 10 years of experience that I have, you can expect minimum of 100% hike from your first job to the second job, which is a very normal scenario in Salesforce job market. I have seen people getting 300, 350% hike in their salary once they have gained some experience as a Salesforce developer. So it's a very promising career. It's a very high paying career, and something, if someone has proper guidance, they can definitely should look into this aspect. And there are so much demand for Salesforce developers in the job market that the talent is really less. There are more demand than the supply in the current job market for Salesforce developer. Career advancement opportunity, right? Uh, for example, you started as a Salesforce developer or a junior developer, you have a long way to progress in this profile. From a junior developer to a developer, from developer to a senior developer, could be the next role, could be your a tech lead. From there, you can pursue different profiles, or you can continue to become the Salesforce architect or the technical architect, which is the topmost profile for a individual. So there are a lot of career growth, there are a lot of career advancement options available for a Salesforce developer. And this is something I firmly believe anyone can learn to code, right? As you as you are already familiar, when Ansira introduced me, she said, I have a degree in accounting from Pandit Ravi Shankar University. So I myself from a non-technical background. But when I started working on the Salesforce platform back in 2014, I realized the tremendous opportunity, the tremendous growth available on this platform. And I gradually started learning to code. It was something very new for me. At times, it was frustrating. And back then, there were not many resources available on YouTube, and there were not many people around who can help you, right? So, whatever I learned on my different jobs that I have done on Salesforce platform, I always stayed on the path to becoming a Salesforce developer. Yes, it took me around 2 years to learn the skills, right? But once I have gained confidence as a developer, once I got the Salesforce Platform Developer 1 certification, it opens very high paying jobs, multiple opportunities for me. And to be honest with you, I have seen people from different background, like people from, who came from non-technical background, like from finance, MBA. Even there are people who are from arts background, right? So let me burst this myth that coding is only for tech graduates. That is completely a myth, right? No matter what your current age is, no matter what your education background is, if you are willing to learn coding, if you have proper guidance, you can definitely learn it, and it will open a lot of career opportunities for you. I am always available if you need any assistance on this topic. If you are a little confused about your career choice, if you are confused whether now should be a good time to switch your career, I am always very close. You can reach out to me on social media platform. I will share my number with you after the session, and I will personally reach out to you, everyone who is a part of this webinar, and I will take your feedback and will talk to you. And I would be very interested to know that what brings you to this webinar today. So I will be in touch. Now, Salesforce platform basics. Before we talk about the Salesforce platform, let me introduce you to the Salesforce org. What is a Salesforce org? Salesforce.org is basically a free to use playground for people to try and test what are the different things available, what are the features, what are the functionalities. If you want to get the feel of Salesforce CRM, there is a copy of Salesforce CRM absolutely free available for you. You can register for it anytime, and you can start, you know, play around with this copy of Salesforce CRM. Let me share this with you. I hope my screen is visible. Ansira, if you are there, could you please confirm if you can see my Salesforce org?
Yes.
Thanks for the confirmation. I generally don't check the meeting chats during the session. Yes, okay. There is nothing important in the meeting chat anyways. Okay, so this is a free copy of Salesforce org. If you have no idea what Salesforce CRM is, I will let you know how you can register for this org. I will get in touch with you later. But this is how you can get started with your Salesforce CRM journey. Now, on my extreme left-hand side, you can see there is a app launcher available, right? And you can see there are different apps available here, right? Now, apps are like it's a part of our day-to-day life, right? We use multiple apps on our phone, on our smart TVs, right? Netflix, Amazon Prime, Instagram, Facebook, all these are nothing but apps. Similarly, Salesforce has designed multiple apps, numerous apps for businesses. Doesn't matter what is the size of your business, doesn't matter what is the line of business, whether it's sales, service, marketing, even if your company or as an individual, you're working as a freelancer, you are into healthcare, apps are available for everyone. Anyone can pay certain amount and they don't have to go through the hassle of building entirely new app and launch it. Everything is available on the CRM platform. There are multiple apps you can see here on my screen. There is an app for service industry. There is an app for marketing. There is a very popular app for sales. Sales and Sales Console is there. If you want to build a site, your own website and all, we have um, the Experience Cloud, contents. So the point here is the digital experience. These predefined apps are useful for any company who is looking to serve their customer in a better way, who want to get in touch with their customer faster, want their employees to be more productive. What they can do is from day one, they can start using these applications, they can start using these apps, and they can work with their customer. Let me give you a quick overview of the sales app. You can see this is the home page of the sales app. You can see there are multiple things here which is related to sales. How many deals were closed? What are the top priority accounts? How to grow relationship with contacts? All these things are there. It's a very interactive user interface, right? And I hope you know that this is an entirely cloud-based platform. You don't have to, you know, install anything on your computer. You can simply log in as you log into Facebook, as you log into Instagram or any other online site, right? Similar way, you can simply log in and start working with your customers from day one. So We'll talk a little bit more about what are the other aspect of Salesforce CRM, but let me emphasize on this that Salesforce CRM is a online or cloud-based subscription model. It follows a subscription-based model, right? And you can pay on monthly, 6 monthly or yearly basis. You can, it's completely depend on your requirement, how you want to pay. But once you are subscribed to the platform, you can use all these features and many more things which we are going to talk about. So when talking about the Salesforce platform, because it's a cloud-based platform, it's so obviously there should be questions around the security. How secure is the platform? What are the different security features available, right? So let's first of all look into the aspect of Salesforce CRM security, right? So this is where you can configure if in future or someday you are going to work as an administrator, Salesforce administrator or developer. This is where you are going to configure or create things in Salesforce. Now, this privilege is only for someone who is a Salesforce administrator. Your employees, let's say people who work in the sales department or in the service department, marketing department, they don't get access to this place until and unless that access has been shared with them. Okay. Salesforce has amazing security features, right? Including multi-factor authentication, right? Multi-factor authentication. There is an audit framework available. There are a lot of security options that one can configure, including, let me take you, platform encryption. You can fully encrypt your customers' data within Salesforce CRM. You need to, though, first learn about how to enable the configuration settings, the encryption related settings. Once you are familiar with it, you can encrypt your customer data fully on the Salesforce CRM platform. There are health checks. Health check means as a platform, how healthy your Salesforce CRM system is. If there is any security threats, this platform or this system will auto detect threats and it will give you suggestions, right? You can see here high risk security setting. This is, by the way, a fresh org. I have not done anything so far in this org. This is just for the demonstration purpose. So all these things that you can see, it could be set up on a very basic level. Okay. So the point here is this feature, the health check, it automatically monitors the health of your Salesforce org and it will keep reporting to you. It will inform you what are the, security risks, what settings or feature you should enable, what should you disable to make sure your org or your org is secure. Okay. So you can see that these notifications are categorized based on high, medium, and low, right? Plus, if it suggests any risk, you can simply click on fix risks, and it will guide you like what all things you can disable or enable to bulletproof your Salesforce org. Pretty amazing feature. So platform encryption, health check. Apart from that, what we have is multi-factor authentication. Okay. What is a multi-factor authentication? Once configured, apart from your login username and password, you will be able to access your Salesforce org, let's say using a security token or a message or via phone call, right? You might have seen this feature in banking systems or banking apps. Once you logged in, you also need an additional OTP or an email, some kind of a extra layer of protection to keep your platform secure, right? There are many more features available in Salesforce platform related to security because it's a cloud-based platform, and data these days is the most valuable thing in the face of earth, right? The most valuable thing in today's life or today's world is the data, right? So in order to protect data, Salesforce provides a lot of features, a lot of tools, which a Salesforce professional who has the knowledge of configuring these things can implement. And that is why Salesforce administration is one such in demand job profile. A Salesforce administrator generally is the person who is into all sort of configuration setting, who knows the in and out of the system and can do things like configuration, setting up things and all, right? So all non-development aspect of Salesforce is handled by the Salesforce administrator. So we just learned about the Salesforce security aspect in a very brief way. Next, I will talk about the Salesforce database. Now, the Salesforce database is basically it basically helps you store data. What type of data? Any type of data. You want to store your customers' information? There is something called accounts. You can simply create or you can simply store all the information about your customers here, right? If you want to create a new, you can simply click on this button and you can simply give the name, details, and save it. Your data will be stored, right? Similarly, you want to manage your contacts, right? Let's say these are all your contacts, right? From here, you can call them, send emails, very intuitive interface here. And if you want to create a new contact, you can easily create them, right? You want to see them in different ways. I mean, this is a quite amazing user interface, but if you prefer something simple, that is also you can switch to. And you can simply see the list of contacts and all. Okay. So the database part of Salesforce is huge. You can not only use this database to store your important business related data, but you can also build relationship between these data. For example, let's see this person, this contact, let's say, is associated with this account. This is the customer's company name, right? And it has a inbuilt relationship. That is why we were able to associate and display or show that this contact is related to this firm or company. So not only you can store data in this database, you can also use the relationship model to display relationship between the data. Who is what, how this data is related to something, all these things can be done easily. So this is Salesforce database overview in a very short span of time. Now, let's talk about one of the most amazing feature of Salesforce platform, that is Salesforce automation. See, without automation, today's industry will go probably 20 or 10 years back, right? In the rapidly changing tech environment or in this industrial age, automation is one of the prime focus for every company. Why automation is important? Can anyone give me a good reason why you think automation is important? Let's take a pause here and see if anyone has idea like why automation is important. Anyone?
Because
Mm-hmm.
to reduce the repetitive works and to make the process simple. F For example, whenever
Mm-hmm.
whenever we do any transactions, then
Mm-hmm.
we get the email or SMS from the
Correct.
bank. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this is a simple example which I can relate with real life.
That's amazing. Thanks for your input, Shweb. So that's absolutely correct. See, automation reduces human effort, right? Something that might takes you hours to complete, using automation, it can be done probably in minutes or could be in seconds as well because automation is fast. However, in order to learn automation, what are the different tools available in Salesforce? I will quickly give you a idea. So we'll go back to the configuration area, and Salesforce provide a lot of automation tools. Under automation, if you see, there is something for approvals, there is flows, which is a very powerful automation tool, and you can automate your data, you can automate your business process using these automation tools, right? There are many others like validation rule, there is web to lead, there is escalation rules, right? There are many other automation tools which are available on Salesforce platform, which can help reduce, uh, which can help reduce the redundancy in business processes and also helps people to become more productive. Salesforce Analytics. Analytics is basically how you can display your data in better way. For that, Salesforce provides reports, dashboards, analytical snapshot, and few other tools. Let me quickly show you an example. You can easily create reports or dashboard on the data which is present in your Salesforce database. You can simply create a report. It's a drag and drop based interface, right? And all your data is very conveniently available for you to create a report, whether it's your companies you are doing business with, your contacts. If your company is into customer support, then customer support reports, all these things are available. You can see that all the data is available and you can simply create a report using this button. Apart from that, Salesforce also provides dashboard. Dashboard is a graphical representation of your data. In reports, you can simply display the data, but here you have many options to display your data in interesting way. What I mean to say is, so here, so we don't have much data here in this org, so it might not show you any output. But as you can see on my left hand side, these are the different ways you can display your data using a dashboard, right? This is called a gauge. You can use this. You can use the donut, right? You can use vertical or horizontal charts and all these things, right? And you can display your data in a great many ways. Another great aspect of Salesforce platform is that you can migrate your data to Salesforce CRM from any other system or from any other document, right? If you have your data in document, if you have your data in any other system, it can easily be migrated to Salesforce. There are different migration tools available. Few are, one is provided by Salesforce. There are other from third-party vendors. Like we have import wizard, data export wizard, we have data loader, workbench. There are numerous tools available which will help you to get your data into Salesforce, and also you can get the backup of your data and store it in your local drives or on cloud platforms. Okay. Now let's look into the concept of development, right? That is why we are here. We'll discuss about the programming concept of Salesforce CRM. Now you must be wondering, like, if Salesforce provides so much, like, then why there is a need for development, right? The need for development is always there because customers might want to change the look and feel of the Salesforce CRM. Whatever you can see on your user screen or whatever you can see on the screen can be completely transformed using codes, right? All these things are customizable. You can customize these things easily using the Salesforce coding technologies. What are these technologies? Apex programming language, right? Apex programming language is used for backend programming, right? You can use this to build logic, execution logic, right? And you can get things done in a automation way, not manually, automatically using Apex. So in a very short way, I'm going to explain like what Apex programming is, what are the different things you will be learning if you want to become a Salesforce developer, right? So the basic of Salesforce development using Apex programming is variable and data types. Now, variables and data type is the most basic concept of any programming language, right? How you can store data within your program, what type of data is supported in the programming language. All this is about variable and data types, right? This is a syntax, or this is an example of Apex code that you can, let me quickly reshare my screen. Okay. So what you can see here on the screen is basically a uh, example of Apex programming. You can see variable declaration. You can see SOQL query. So control flow statement, arrays, DML. These are all the basic concepts of Apex programming. Now, in our training program, we focus a lot on the basics of development. We explain in detail how to start learning coding from scratch, right? All the basic concepts are explained, and from there, you will advance to the further topics or the advanced topics. Okay. So line number one is a variable declaration of type integer, right? Then line number two is a declaration of a list, or what we call in more technical term is an array, right? Line number four, there is a SOQL query, which basically helps developer to query data from the Salesforce database. Once you have the data, you can further manipulate it using DML. This line number five, delete ACCS, right? This is basically a DML operation, right? Then what we have is a control structure. Use of for loop is basically to iterate over or repeatedly go over a code section, right? For control structure, we also use if-else statement, very commonly used technique in a cross programming language, if-else, right? You can use multiple if-else statements as well if required. And then what we have is again another DML operation, insert, right? So the takeaway from this is like all these core concepts are used together to write Apex classes or Apex triggers, right? Or test classes, right? You can use all these core concepts, including variable and data types, control flow statements, DML, SOQL, SOSL, and you can then write Apex triggers or Apex classes, including test classes as well. Okay, hope that is clear to you all. Now, let's talk about the front-end technology. What is front-end technology? If you want to customize your Salesforce user interface, the interface that I just showed you, right? Let me reshare my screen in case if it's not visible. This Salesforce user interface, if you want to customize any portion of the Salesforce user interface or the entire design, then you are going to learn Lightning Web Component Framework. Lightning Web Component Framework helps developer to customize user screen components, right? Um, Whatever you can see on your user interface is customizable, be it an application, be it any screen, be it any record. You can customize it and use it the way you want it to show, right? Now, Lightning Web Component, as I said earlier, it's a JavaScript based framework, right? Now, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is used for front-end development, right? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript combined are called Web Development Standard, and it is used to build user interface, okay, or your front end. Let me quickly share this page with you again. Lightning Web Components, as you can see here. Let me open it in a new window. Okay. So if you look into this library, the component library, what we have here, Okay. You will see that how using different base components or using HTML and CSS, how you can create interactive elements. These elements are basically used for front-end development. Okay. Um, there are buttons, there are clickable links, all these things, what you can see here in the screen, these are all part of Lightning user interface development. Lightning cards, all these things are available. Okay. And if you see the base of it, if you see the base of it, you will see,
Yeah, hi Suman. Actually, we are still
hello.
seeing the sales platform.
Oh, you can see the, okay, you can still see the Salesforce platform. Let me quickly change this. I think I'm sharing the wrong page. What about now? Can you see the Lightning web component?
Yes, this fine. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Let me, so I was talking about the Lightning components. Lightning components are basically reusable elements which you can use to develop your custom pages. What is a custom page? Everything which is not Salesforce provided. Whatever Salesforce has provided, that is standard. But if you want to build something which is not provided by Salesforce, you can use custom elements. Okay. Now, if you look into this code here, you can see there are, if at all you are familiar with HTML, you can see the use of div tags, right? Div is a very typical HTML tag and very heavily used in HTML development, right? And there is a paragraph tag used, and there are some Salesforce platform related tags which are available here under the badge basics. Okay. Now, on the other side, what we have is a basic JavaScript. However, there is no JavaScript being used in this example. Let me see a button or something if we can. There is a basic run button here. Let me see buttons with icons. Uh, you can see there are different type of buttons available with icons, right? You can use them again for your custom development. So you will see a lot of HTML tags here, along with some of the tags which are Salesforce Lightning Web Component Framework specific. Okay. For example, the Lightning button is basically the base component, very similar to HTML button that we used in HTML, if at all you are familiar, right? So apart from that, JavaScript is used if you want to create any sort of an interaction between the component, right? If you want to make your component interactive or reactive, then what you're gonna need is JavaScript. For example, there is a there is a small code here, JavaScript code you can see, and you can also see how it is affecting this image. Okay, there are two cards here, right? And what we have here is the code which is used for this card-like structure. Let me make it a little big so that you can see it. This is the code behind this. This is the structure. This is the HTML uh, tags or the structure for what you can see here on the screen. And if you look into, So generally, JavaScript is also used to create any sort of an interaction in the Lightning Web Components, right? So JavaScript is a very popular programming language, front-end technology or front-end programming language. And learning JavaScript, not the entire JavaScript as such is required for Salesforce development in terms of Lightning Web Component, but there are what I would say, there are certain core concepts that you need to learn from JavaScript in order to implement your knowledge or in order to implement or create um, a custom user interface. Okay. Now, Lightning Web Component also provide, uh, syntax to connect with Salesforce data, right? You can use Salesforce data and display it in any way possible or imaginable using Lightning Web Component. Let me take you back to the presentation slide. I hope the presentation slide is visible to you all. So in a brief overview, I showed you how Lightning Web Components look like, right? What is the Lightning Web Component development framework in a very short span of time? Um, Lightning Design System is basically Salesforce provide um, framework where you can apply styling to your Lightning Web Component code, right? And display it in a you can provide styling, apply colors, borders, and all these things using the design system. It has a entire framework designed for it, and it's a great help for the Salesforce developer. Now, Lightning Data Services. Lightning Data Services is basically useful to interact with Salesforce database records, right? There are established way, right? There are wire frameworks that you can use and you can connect with these records or whatever data you have in your Salesforce org. Now, this will be the last topic, the Salesforce integration framework, right? And in Salesforce integration framework, um, now let me give you a little bit of background about why integration is important. Nowadays, system integration is a very common pattern, right? Um, there will be a lot of business scenarios where you need to share data from one system to another system, or you need to pull data from one system to another system. This could be in the scenario of data validation. Maybe you want to fetch data from a government site, right? For some validation purpose for your customer, or it is any other system, right? It could be a homegrown system or framework for a company and you want to pull data from that system, integration will be required, right? So what are the common integration pattern in Salesforce? We have data integration, we have application integration, API integration, event-driven integration, real-time integration, and the tools which are used or the technology which is used for Salesforce integration. I have named a few, there are many, but the most commonly used ones are Salesforce Lightning Connect, MuleSoft, which is again a Salesforce product and dedicatedly used for Salesforce integration. Then we have different Salesforce APIs, majorly REST and SOAP APIs. That there are different middleware platforms available for integrations. Now, data integration, we'll talk a little bit about these integration patterns. Data integration is basically sharing data between two systems, two or more system in that case, right? For example, ERP system, if there is any marketing automation required between two companies, that can be used, right? Or it can be used on any customer service platform as well. So data integration is basically a way to share data between systems, right? And all these tools, uh, Salesforce Lightning Connect, MuleSoft, you can go for REST or SOAP-based API. All these technologies can help you. Depends on your requirement, depends on your business use case. You can use these technologies to connect with that external system. Okay. Application integration. What is applications? Or commonly referred as apps, right? It basically involves integrating Salesforce with some other application. That application not necessarily should be a Salesforce application. It could be any application. It could be Zomato. It could be, any other application which is out there in the market, right? The next type of integration, which is very common, is API integration. API is application programming interface, just in case you're not familiar. So these API integrations are a way to connect Salesforce with other systems or services. For example, in order to validate a customer's loan application, you probably need some data from government sites. In those scenario, this type of API can help, where you can pull the you know Aadhaar card information or probably your PAN card details based on request. You can send this request to government website, and using integration, that data will be fetched in Salesforce. Okay. Real-time integration again is something which enables immediate data exchange. I mean, it's pretty fast, real. That is why the name is real-time integration. You can fetch the data in real time. It's very fast. Okay. And very useful or popular in customer service industry or in sales platform as well. Okay. Another one, the last one, which is the event-driven integration. It's basically again integrating Salesforce with other system based on specific events or triggers, right? Now, the concept of event and trigger is a pretty complex one. I am hoping that if you join the training, we will discuss in detail about these things. But again, event-driven integration is again a common pattern in Salesforce CRM. And again, the tools which are used are mentioned here, like Salesforce Lightning Connect, MuleSoft APIs, middleware platforms, etc. So this is all about this session, right? The basic concept of Salesforce development. Earlier, we only used to refer development like Salesforce, Apex, and Lightning Web Component. However, Salesforce integration these days is a very essential skill to have. At least if you are, simply getting started with your Salesforce career, you should at least know the basics of Salesforce integration, because there will be a lot of questions in the interviews about Salesforce integration. Now, I will give you 5 minutes. We are a little late already. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. If you have any questions at all, do let me know. Mhm. We will wait for a few seconds. If you are having any questions, any doubts, about Salesforce job opportunity, growth, certification, anything you want to know, please feel free to ask.
Hi, Suman. Karthik here.
Hello. Hi, Karthik.
Uh,
Yes, Karthik,
so,
what is your question?
so we know there are many advancements which is taking place around in every technologies, right? So even in Salesforce, we have this agent force which is coming in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how far agent force will replace the role of a developer who could write an Apex? Is that agent force mainly for a declarative approach of programming, approach of solving any solution, or it can be used for a programmatic way as well.
The agent force is Salesforce way of automating um, the service industry wherever the agents are required. Service industry, sales industry, wherever there was a requirement for people to attend customers, right? Earlier, we used to call the call center team. There will be some human interact with you. They are trying to replace that big industry with agents. Maybe not completely, but a lot of dependency were earlier on people to manage the customer interaction. You might have already realized this when you are calling any customer service team, there is an automated voice recording there. They will give you some self-help articles and all these things so that you can resolve your own query. So Agent Force is going to uh, help these agents who are in the front line with customer interaction. It's a great help for those people. Now it can be customized using development, right? But that is again is based on business scenarios.
Yeah. Thanks. And I have one more question as well. So I'm experienced from HCL Commerce background. So I'm
Okay.
trying to switch over to Salesforce Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to crack the interview, so what are the important topics that I need to cover with respect to Apex? Or I mean, should I first focus on Salesforce admin related courses or topics, and then should I go with the Apex one, or directly I can start with the Apex and get to know the topic?
I got your question, Karthik. So see, if you are just getting started, first of all, the platform knowledge is important. On that foundation you can then later build whether you want to become a developer, if you want to pursue towards the commerce cloud. But first of all, the platform knowledge is very important, which is covered in the Salesforce administration training. So that is the foundation. On that foundation you can later build your career as a business analyst or as a quality analyst, consultant, developer, whatever you want to build on it. But platform knowledge is the I would highly recommend to get started with before you start learning about commerce cloud or any cloud specific technology like sales cloud, service cloud, and all. Getting my point?
Sure. Thanks, Usman. I got it.
You are welcome. Any other question, guys? We have a couple of minutes left before we wrap up the session. There is a question from Bal Gopal. How should I approach companies as a fresher after completing both admin and development? So see, once you have completed your training, there are plenty of job opportunities outside. If you are active on LinkedIn or there are different job portals, you will see a lot of calling related to Salesforce profession. Okay, but one thing I would highly recommend that with time, the traditional job roles have changed. Nowadays, if there is a requirement for Salesforce administrator, they might also ask you a question related to how you will do business analysis, how you will gather requirement, right? So because that is an essential part nowadays for Salesforce administrator to learn, right? You should also be good at gathering requirement, refining them, creating user stories, all these things. So yeah, very important. Also for developer, Salesforce developer earlier knowing Apex and Lightning Web Component was more than enough. But nowadays, you should have basic understanding of integration as well. Salesforce integration nowadays, it's in a lot of demand. So that is what that is what I would suggest. Any other question, guys? So that was from Bal Gopal. Okay, redundancy so instead of provided. It's okay. Can I get referral from you in future? Definitely, definitely. There will be a lot of referrals. I worked with many companies and I have good contacts. In my previous companies, I have good friends. They always reach out with referrals opportunity. I have a good network in the Salesforce ecosystem as well, where I get access to a lot of job opportunities. So definitely there will be referral from my side or from iLearn. So we will definitely help you on this. Okay. How can I reach out to you? So you can or anyone in this session can simply reach out to me on this number. This is my number. You can also connect with me on I'm sorry, I think I got disconnected for a moment. So, okay, that is all from my side, guys. I'm looking forward to interact with you in near future. You have my number. If you have questions, reach out to me anytime. Thanks for your time. Take care. Ansira, you want to say something before we close off the session? Soma, I can't hear you if you are talking.
Yes, thank you so much, Suman, for this powerful session.
Just 1 second, Ansira. I think Soma
Yes.
Shri has a question or something. Okay, no problem, Soma. If you are having okay, you can also text or post your question in the chat window. We'll catch up later. Okay, that sounds good. We have completed the time for this session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this, and we will come up with more sessions, and we will be in touch with you. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye bye.